Ready. Play.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is in the world, wherever you are tuning in from. In fact, we were just talking about the times, trying to tune into the Australian Open and the challenges that are posed. Amy was saying that it was a pretty early start for you. You're on the East Coast, right, Amy?
Yes, very close to New York City.
Okay, so yeah, a little challenging, but some very early starts. Was it worth it this morning getting up super early to watch the Djokovic-Alcaraz match, in your opinion?
Oh, 100%. Some of those epic points. There was one point in particular, I think it was 30 shots late in the match. That alone, if I had to wake up in the middle of the night and watch one point, it would have been worth it.
Seemed to me, though, that most of those points, particularly in the first three sets, it was the lofted arm of Djokovic at the end of it, which I know we've seen it for many years. We're going to come to a semi-final prospect as well against Zverev very, very soon. And I remember an epic rally those two had in New York that I think was almost 60 shots. But we've often been used to it. However, it should be the younger guy who should be winning those rallies, right?
Actually, that particular 30-shot rally, I think Alcaraz did win.
Okay.
One of my favorite data points in all of tennis is that the person who wins the most of the long rallies in the match is slightly less apt to win the match.
Okay.
That's how little those things matter. And the players know this, and they will say, okay, that was an epic battle. It was a great point. It's only 1 point in isolation. It really doesn't mean much to the outcome of this match.
Well, the outcome of that match, of course, was a Djokovic win in 4 sets. Did that surprise you, the outcome, the result, the manner of it?
Well, in my pre-tournament preview, I picked Djokovic over Alcaraz in this quarterfinal match in 5. So I missed it by a set. And if Alcaraz could have pulled some things together there in that final set, I might have
Would
hit
you have
it
been
spot on.
confident for Novak going into a potential 5th, though, bearing in mind what we'd seen?
I'm never confident. I mean, this is like an epic rivalry between these two that is so interesting because of the difference in age. But surface is another factor. I mean, this is the one Carlos doesn't have yet, and this is Novak's best Grand Slam. So there's all these factors that compete against each other. And of course, the respect that the two players have for each other makes this just such an enticing battle.
Yes, indeed. I'm not ashamed to say I had this match happening, but I did have Alcaraz emerging the winner. In fact, even a day or so ago, I made repeated the same mistake, you could argue. But that is tennis. It's the unpredictability that keeps us going, and Djokovic keeps defying the odds, Amy.
Absolutely. I mean, he comes out and Alcaraz pulls him wide on a forehand, and he does something, tweaks his groin or something like that, has to take a medical timeout. And Carlos closes the set after that, the first set, and you think to yourself, and I have a lot of people tweeting at me, Father Time is undefeated, age is always a factor. And you know, tell that to Mahac and Lehechka, who just lost to this 37-year-old. Yes, it's a factor. It's a factor, but it's only one of many factors, including surface, including experience, including things like forehand to forehand rallies or backhand to backhand rallies, use of the drop shot, anticipation skills. It's just one of many factors. Now, I will say that your pick was not outrageous because of the time on court. Novak had 11 hours on court coming into this match, where Alcaraz had under 8, I believe.
That's right. I remember seeing that stat pop up. It was about 11-8, as you said, and the 3-hour differential between them. And I saw that stat pop up, I think, around the beginning of the second set. But in the end, it didn't matter. I wonder if it had have gone 5, if we might have seen a swing big enough in momentum to Carlos. But that's ifs, buts, and maybes. Djokovic won in 4 sets, and now, of course, we'll be playing Alexander Zverev. Zverev, of course, came through a 4-set match with Tommy Paul. Bit of a bizarre one, this one, in that I think Tommy Paul was arguably the better player for 3 of the 4 sets. There were set points in the first two for Tommy. I think he was serving for at least one of those sets as well. And he just couldn't win those super important big points. And then he kind of carried a hangover into both of the two tiebreakers. He won just 1 point out of 14. I jokingly said at the time that basically I could have played those two tiebreakers and I might have won more than one. I think I wouldn't have done, Amy, if we're all honest with each other. But, 1 point from 15 points, as it turned out, because he loses those 14-1 is not going to help. And I think it was just such a mental challenge going into those two tie breaks that he carried that on. But anyway, Zverev emerges, 4-set win. He's in another Grand Slam semi-final. What have you made either of that match, Amy? Well, I know it happened in the middle of the night for you. Or
I caught up.
Okay, good.
I sort of fast forwarded and looked at some highlights, and I've seen Tommy play most of his matches this tournament.
Okay.
This also I picked to be the quarterfinal, and I did pick Zverev to come through only because Tommy had a 5-setter in his first round match and was coming off a tournament immediately preceding. He chose to play the week before, but not come to Australia earlier. It's a calculation, and he had an injury. So it was, even though his last couple of matches he was really starting to play into form, I thought that it might catch up to him. And because of surface and conditions, one of the best servers in the game right now is Zverev, particularly on his first serve percentages. And that was just going to be too much, I think. Serve is an area where Tommy he's good, but he's not elite. So this surface in these conditions were always going to be a challenge for him to come through.
Yeah, there's so many narratives going on in tennis. It's sometimes difficult to keep up, and changes and things evolving in terms of players' game. Something that's not talked about often enough, perhaps, is Zverev's second serve, which used to be a huge thing. He would either go big on it and double fault. He would go so tame, and you'd be looking at it. And I remember the 4th round match, I think it was, with Shapovalov in Australia 3 years ago, pretty much. That's almost a line in the sand. Okay, we had the injury for Zverev that happened a few months later, but I think he had a pretty good, spell up until that French Open semi-final, which was on a knife edge when he incurs that ankle injury. Then he comes back, and it takes him a while. But in that sort of 18 months, and I did hear him say this at a press conference, I think in Hamburg last year, that was something that he really has. First of all, as you say, getting those, if you've got a bigger service he has, and you're getting 80% plus of those in on a regular basis in terms of these matches, you're going to do pretty well. I saw Carlos, by the way, was down to 33% second service points won. And I know I'm jumping around a bit between the first and the second serve a bit here, but I know the stats probably as well as I do. That's a huge area of Alexander's game that he's really progressed in.
Absolutely. I mean, if you play the game and you get injured, it is one of the most frustrating things, and you're going to be out for months and months. But Alexander really took it as an opportunity to say, okay, what can I do? What can I work on? And, probably had some time to think about what kinds of serve he wants to hit there. He's a tall player. Different strategies for different players. Do you want to hit kick? Do you want to do what is becoming more in vogue, which is sort of a hybrid between first and second there, slider out wide on the deuce? So he really retooled that aspect and mentally shored himself up. And that isn't even something we talk about anymore with him, his second serve.
No.
So good point there.
Yeah, indeed. I've got the head-to-head there on the screen, 8-4 in the favor of Djokovic and Zverev. Before I even look at the matches that they had, I do remember at least one Grand Slam semi-final in New York in 2021 when Djokovic was walking that tightrope of trying to get the calendar slam and ultimately emerging in 5 sets that night before losing to Medvedev in the final. That was an epic match. We talked about epic rallies as well in the match with Alcaraz today. That included a rally of, I think it was pushing 60 shots, very deep in the match. These rallies often do tend to occur, by the way. The longer the match goes on, the longer the rallies are. But anyway, let's have a quick look at some of these encounters they've had in the past. They've not played each other in 18 months, which is kind of interesting in that both of them, both very much at the top of the game, and that was in Cincinnati. In fact, that's the only time they've played each other since 2021, and they've only played each other twice since that US Open semi-final. Any of these matches from yesteryear that you remember sticking out in your mind?
I like that US Open one because they were both hard court on surfaces that are not, Australian Open used to be super fast. It's slowed down a bit. And of course, US Open is really slowed down. So that's a really similar, more apples to green apples to red apples, not apples to apples. But yeah, I mean, I don't think you're going to have as many long rallies in this just because of the nature of how Zverev plays. He'll have a lot of free points on serve, and he'll be going up against one of the best returners in the history of the sport. So I think I rarely say this, but I think mental for Zverev is going to have a lot to do with it because we know he doesn't have a slam yet. This is a big hurdle to cross.
Yeah.
Djokovic is the GOAT, and he also happens to own the head-to-head pretty squarely here. So mentally, can he keep his wits about him? Will be, and let's say he drops the first set, or let's say he drops the second set. Will he be able to collect himself and get past some of these mental demons?
I think this match, for some of those reasons, is so difficult to call. Now, I've made predictions throughout this tournament and across many years in tennis now, and probably got as many of them wrong, including, of course, today's with Alcaraz. But I did have my reasoning, and I felt not confident, but I thought, the odds were slightly in favor of Alcaraz. For whatever reason, that ended up not being the case. With this one, I had an Alcaraz Zverev semi-final in my bracket at the beginning of the tournament, and I had Zverev winning that particular encounter, repeating the feat he did last year. But now it's against Djokovic. Of course, that makes it a little bit. I've got to recalibrate, if you like, and rethink this through. And I just can't decide. And you know what? Anything from all the sort of variables, a tight. I can't see an absolute beatdown for either player, but a tight 3-set win for either, or 4 or 5 sets could well go that way. I see pros and cons. I think Zverev is, over the last 12 months, it's been the best 12-month block in terms of, his abilities and where he's at, making Grand Slam finals. There's obviously some pain there. 2-1 up against Alcaraz in the French Open, 2-0 up over Medvedev in the semis a year ago. So there's plenty. That's just recent scar tissue. Never mind if you go back further. So there are some question marks that I think shouldn't affect Novak too much. I think that he'll be okay on that front. But then physically, I do think if it goes 4 or 5, you would think that you would go towards the younger player. And I wonder how that would have panned out today had that gone 5. But looking at their paths as well, there's lots of reason for optimism for Djokovic in that he seems to be getting better and better and better. The first 2 rounds were anything but convincing over Basilashvili and Jaime Faria. But then those 2 wins over the Czech players, that really, for me, with Djokovic, that put me in a bit of a position to get with that match with Alcaraz that started to make me rethink. I didn't go as far as change my mind, but it did make me think, this is going to be a lot closer than I thought. So when it comes to the semi-final, as you can tell, I'm stuck. But I'm going to go with the younger guy. I'm going to go with Zverev. I'm going to go with him in 4 sets, but possibly only just because I'm being stubborn, Amy, which is obviously not clever when you're making predictions. But I did predict Zverev to make the final at the beginning of the tournament. I'm going to stick with that, I think.
Yeah, it's tough when you get things right. Like I had picked Djokovic and I had picked Zverev. So now I have this matchup and I picked Zverev pre-tournament. But then you have to digest and synthesize what you've seen over the course of the tournament. And then people ask you, do you stick with it? I am going to stick with it. It's hard to do. It's really hard to pick against the GOAT. And it, of course, would not surprise me. But for Zverev, I like that this is a semifinal and not a final. So, right. And I just, I like the way he's serving. I like the fact I like his improved forehand.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he has less time on court, and Novak is a little dinged up. So that I'm going to stick with my original pick, and I have Sinner on the other side going to the final.
Yes, I do as well. I think I think most people have Sinner progressing as well.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
My name is Zainab Sammaz, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jan Faria, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paolini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is in the world, wherever you are tuning in from. The match is already underway with Novak serving first. And you can see that Alexander Zverev has won the first point of the match. So a decent start for the German, particularly as it's on Novak's serve. Djokovic here is going to have a second serve as well. We can see the bandage or strapping, perhaps I should say, on that leg. That will have been incurred in the match, of course, against Carlos Alcaraz, the 4-set win that Novak had in the quarterfinals. That's a return of serve there from Zverev. And will nerves play a part today? Well, if they do, you would imagine that they would probably go in favor of 24-time Grand Slam winner Novak Djokovic. Forehand to forehand at the moment. Remember that 63-shot rally that Amy and I referenced just now in the build-up to this, the 53-shot rally they had in New York. Well, this rally looks like it's over 10 shots right now, and they're moving each other around. And it's a decent cross court. No, it's not. It's going to go just wide, much to the applause of Andy Murray, the coach, of course, of Novak Djokovic. Hi to you, by the way, in the live chat. Hi, Jake in particular. Let's go indeed. And good morning from Germany to you, Nicholas, in Greece. Yeah, let me know your thoughts in the live chat. Do let me know your predictions for this one. 4:30 in the morning here. Well, actually, just gone 4:45, but 4:30 when this was kind of slated for. So pretty early here. I think it's 2:30 local time, or just gone 2:30 local time in Australia. A daytime match. We know that Novak tends to prefer the evening, but having had his semi-final first on Tuesday, it was always likely that it would be the first semi-final. Very close to being a double fault there from Novak. Anyway, backhand here from Zverev, backhand from Djokovic, backhand from Zverev. That was very low there. A slice there from Novak. Let me know in the live chat as well, how do you rank the Novak Djokovic slice? It's a lovely forehand winner from him down the line for 30-15. 27 shot rally on point 2. This is going to take 6 hours. Let's see. Let's see. It's a nice forehand winner there from Novak down the line. So perhaps, yeah, hi Ashley from across the pond, and also hi, of course, to Ghosty as well for just joining us. If you have just joined us, or in fact, if you've been here since the beginning, or whichever, please do hit that like button. And of course, if you are new to the channel, hit subscribe. Djokovic here serving 30-15. I'm just going to close the door, so keep some of this heat inside of this particular room that I'm in as I watch Djokovic serve down the tee, and that forehand from return from Zverev is loose. So a much shorter rally there, Ghosty. Meaning 40-15 and 2 game points for Novak Djokovic. And he's going to go wide with that first serve. 3 points in a row for Novak. Did I read that this is Novak's 60th Grand Slam semi-final? Anyway, I'm sure it's over 50. Backhand return there from Zverev into the backhand of Djokovic, which goes deep. Forehand, Novak is going to go long. 40-30. Let's get to 10 likes as soon as possible. I don't know how many likes we're on right now. First serve into the net. Djokovic taking his time here on the second serve. Backhand return from Zverev. Not quite deep enough, you'd have thought, for a second serve return. A slice there from Novak. Oh, net cord there, which is going to be very beneficial. Oh, yay. What a rally. What a rally. And Novak did very well to chase down that net cord. And then not only just chase it down, but actually flick it over the net exquisitely. And hold serve for 1-love. Yeah. The main problem, of course, is just how long they take to serve, in particular Novak. It was particularly noticeable against Carlos. So the win predictor, according to the Infosys win predictor, that's the Australian stats provider, has a 60-40 odds in favor of Novak. Let's have a look at some pre-match statistics. Of course, they have an 8-4 head-to-head, including a Grand Slam semi-final in New York, where Djokovic emerged the winner in 5 sets in 2021. So these are across the tournament and not including that first game today. But first serve percentage, getting the first serve in, Zverev is at 72%, whereas Novak is at 64%. Pretty good from Zverev, but I do know across the year he can be even higher than that. First serve percentage 79% for Zverev, 76% for Novak. You might be looking at some of these stats and they are slightly more favorable towards Zverev. Well, that might be because his run to the semi-final was a little bit more comfortable, let's say, and a little bit maybe against slightly less stellar opponents than Novak. I think Novak's third and fourth round opponents must not be underestimated, and really Djokovic did very well to win both of those in straight sets. And then, of course, Djokovic playing Alcaraz, the 4-time Grand Slam winner in the quarterfinals. So, yes. Time on court, will that be a factor today? Well, of course, if it goes 5 sets, then it may be, as Zverev puts a backhand into the net. Maybe if we did go long, 4 or 5 sets, the 2.5 hours less on court that Zverev has experienced here in Australia may well serve him in good stead. Back to the scoreboard. Decent serve there from Zverev, brings up 30-15. I had Sinner to win the title, Ashley, on the men's side, and I had Sabalenka to win the title on the women's side. But I did not have Madison Keys in the final. I had a Sinner-Zverev final on the men's side. Ooh, low net clearance there from Zverev. Good defense there from Novak, but Zverev puts the forehand winner away from the defense that Novak did. Did really well to get his racket on it and get it back over the net, but it was always likely to fall short. It did, and Zverev puts that short ball away. Down the tee, but it's long, so it's going to be a second serve. Backhand return is going to be mishit from Novak. There was a kick there, I think, and we are now at 1 game apiece. Yes, so please do hit the like button and do let me know in the live chat how many likes have we got. I do hope we're over 10 likes so far. I think we were already at 5 likes as the stream began. And bearing in mind there are 12 people tuning in on YouTube, do hit that like button. Of course, if you are new to the channel, you haven't already done so, click that subscribe button just below the screen. 1 game all. I remember watching the Svitolina Keys quarterfinal and just enjoying the pace of that, both in terms of the zipping rallies that they were having, but also just the time between points was like, give me the ball, serve, let's go. And comparing it to the stodginess of the Novak against Carlos quarterfinal, where between points, particularly at the beginning of the match, was particularly, I think, frustrating. Novak nets there on the forehand side, so it's love 15. So again, Zverev winning the first point on the Djokovic serve. Of course, it was this exact same stage a year ago that Novak lost to Jannik Sinner in 4 sets. Novak winning the 3rd set, having been 2 sets to love down. And yeah, and you thought, okay, maybe a comeback is on, but no. Sinner soon snuffed out the danger. Sinner was just electric that day, but Novak was slightly off it too. I remember asking, oh, Djokovic coming in there for a serve and volley. Is that a sign of his fatigue from his previous endeavors? Maybe. But it didn't work as Zverev just basically passed him with consummate ease. Love 30. And a modicum of danger here for Djokovic. It was just such an easy pass. The spot was not close enough on that second serve. Now we've got a first serve, though, from Novak, and it's going to be 15-30. I don't even know what SMH means, Ghosty. Djokovic done the T, and it's an ace. So from love 30, he's quickly at 30 all. Some new people joining on YouTube, please do hit that like button. 30 all. Ghosty, you're normally my resident producer in the US. If you can tell me how many likes we're on, that would be great. Down the T, but it's gone long, so it's going to be a second serve for Zverev to look at. Thanks, Ghosty. Ooh, Djokovic nets on the backhand side there. It sort of clicked the tape, but it landed back on his side. And yeah, we're going to have our first break point of the match, and it is going to be for Alexander Zverev. So we look at the German's team there, including his father and brother. Djokovic goes in the tee, but goes wide on that one. So it's a second serve, which I'm hoping happens sometime today. Forehand return from Zverev. Clips the baseline, I think. Backhand here from Zverev going cross court. Now on the forehand of Zverev goes into the net. Deuce. Will this be a set of few opportunities? And we look back on that one later. Maybe, because Zverev was at neutral in that rally, and it was an unforced error there on the forehand side. He had plenty of time to set up. And if anything, because of the slowness of the rally, I think he had a chance of not necessarily hitting a winner, but certainly getting up in the rally. Forehand return, slightly mishit there from Zverev. Now we're into the rally. He's on the defensive slice there. Novak has gone long with that forehand. So it's going to be a second break point for the German. I think Ghosty, by the way, is in response to this question, Sean. I think Ghosty is referring to Swarner anyway in this particular match we're seeing unfold before our very eyes, rather than Maddie's run to the final. First serve down the tee is wide. Second serve is going to be a backhand return for Zverev. Oh, backhand into the net there again. Neutral position. That's two now. He's not particularly happy. Is he disappointed with the bounce there? I don't know. But that's two break points, and both of them he was into the rally. Both of them, I think he had second serves, and both of them ended with an unforced error going into the net. Let me know where in the world you are tuning in from. I'm in northwestern Germany, where it is 4 minutes past 5 in the morning. Good return there, though, from Zverev on the backhand side, and it's helped him set up a winner. So it's going to be a third break point in this game for Zverev. So Djokovic to serve here. Third break point he's facing in this game. Gets his first serve in. And he's going to win the point. He gets his first. It was a really good first serve. Nicely placed. Got himself up in the rally. And this time it was a forced error. But again, it goes into the net. But maybe Zverev should be going for that down the line in a big possible way. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But he decided to go cross court and the ball barely made the net. Goes down the tee here, but it's going to be another second serve. There seems to be a lot of second serves in this game, which is probably one of the reasons why Zverev is very much in with a chance of winning it. Second serve here, deuce. We've yet to have a game point for Novak. It's a good second serve from Novak. Going to be a backhand there from Zverev. Thought about coming into the net. Does come into the net here. I don't know what he's doing, but there we go. He still might win the point, and he is going to win the point. Seemed to be some hesitancy there. Couple of times Zverev thought about coming into the net and chose to do so on the second occasion when I think actually it wasn't quite there. He was kind of in no man's land, and probably because he was in no man's land. It was a nice pickup, to be fair, because it wasn't easy. The fact that he just managed to just get it over the net helped him win the point because it meant Novak had a lot of work to do. And we do now have a fourth break point for Alexander Zverev in this game. Are we going to get another second serve to look at? Yes, we are, because the first serve, which was going down the tee, seems to be a particular thing for Novak today, to go down the tee when in the ad court, particularly when under pressure, such as facing a break point. But he's gone into the net, so it's going to be a second serve, which I'm hoping will happen at some point on Thursday, the 24th of January. Backhand return, but could well have been a forehand, but for some reason Zverev chose to sort of run around that, and now he's mishit and shanked that, and so the fourth break point has come and gone. That's 4 times he's been in the rally as well, 3 of which was very much a neutral situation. 3 of these 4 rallies I would be expecting him to, possibly win, and he's not won any of those 3. The 4th one, he was down in the rally from a really good spot serve from Novak. And we are now back at deuce. And we are going to have a second serve once again for Zverev to look at. It does feel like Novak is not getting his first serves in really at all in this game. I do remember 1 in the last half a dozen points or so. But yes, I'm sure he's going to be keen to improve that stat. Forehand return here. It's going to be a net, so it's going to be a second serve let. Yeah. Djokovic there picking up the pace and garners now his first game point of this game. 22 minutes in as Ghosty highlights. Maybe, Sean. Maybe, but I don't see the Zverev forehand being a weakness like it maybe used to be in years gone by. Djokovic might shorten the points a little bit, might do a bit of serve and volleying, although actually he's done so in this game and it didn't work out. Again, in the ad court, he goes down the tee, but again, he nets, and again, we're going to have a second serve. Forehand return here from Zverev. Forehand again, lovely there, picking up the pace, but Djokovic defends well. And we're back at neutral in this rally. Drop shot here from Novak. Oh my goodness me, Alexander Zverev, what are you doing there? How many points was Zverev up in the rally for there? I mean, Zverev should be putting that away. But again, for the second time today, he shanks the forehand. And I'm not even sure if that ball has landed yet. I mean, he's just framed that completely. Yeah, so a final look maybe at some of these pre-match stats. Djokovic, of course, dropping 3 sets en route against Jaime Faria and Basavareri in the second and also the first round. But also, of course, that third set that he dropped was against Alcaraz in the quarterfinals. This time 3 years ago, we were watching Tsitsipas lose in 4 sets to Medvedev and Berrettini losing in 4 sets to Nadal. Djokovic could become the oldest player in the Open era to reach a men's singles final at the Australian Open. I'm guessing that would have been Nadal until now with that 2022 final? Don't know. The Djokovic hat is out now in full force. I think it would be interesting if we had a look at the stop clock today between some of these service points. Should put that volley away, but doesn't. Love 15. Goes down the tee there, Zverev. Backhand now into the backhand of Novak. He's going to choose to slice that one. I think the Djokovic slice is generally quite good. Some of these slices are probably bouncing a little bit too high and also too much net clearance. And there's another slice. Oh, and now we're going to get love 30 on the Zverev serve as he hits a backhand cross court out. Okay, Zverev, love 30 down here, so a bit of pressure here on the German serve. No, I don't think Djokovic's leg is going to be a huge factor. I do think fatigue might come into play, but more so in sort of sets 4 and 5, should we go that far. Backhand return from Novak. Backhand cross court there from Zverev. And the backhand from Zverev is going to go long. And we're now at love 40. And we're going to have 3 break points for Novak Djokovic. His first of the match. We are only on the second service game of Zverev. And Zverev, of course, had 4 break points on the Djokovic serve. Gets the first serve in. But Djokovic is in the rally. Oh, I thought Zverev might come into the net there. Some good backhands here from Zverev. Changing direction, but Djokovic will defend that. And that backhand cross court is going to go out, much to the chagrin of the 10-time Wimbledon Australian Open winner. Ghosty, I'm wondering if you ever sleep, my friend, or you're constantly on the go. I know Jake asked the other day if you were a beer drinker, and you said, yes, sir. It's going to be an ace for Zverev to save the second break point. 2 down, 1 to go.
5 hours goes to, yeah. Was that a let? Yes, it was. (30-40), first serve again. Down the tee. Comes into the net, and he's going to have a smash here. He's not put it away. Not put it away just yet. But he has put the third one away. That was a test of the nerve, particularly that last one, which seemed to take a while to come back down. So that's 3 break points saved. And we're back to deuce. 3 smashes there as well. The first 2 really weren't quite good enough, and Novak did well to defend them. And it's going to be an ace. So 4 points in a row for Zverev. Janie here saying hi, or Ghosty and Janie, the siblings. And hi to you as well, Jane. Thanks for tuning in. Let us know in the live chat, how many hours a night do you sleep? Oh, net call. Thanks, guys. I should be back now, right? 30 love on the Djokovic serve as I fix my microphone issues. One battery died, but there should be enough in the other one for the remainder of this match. Although, it depends on how quick it is, of course. Forehand here from Zverev, going across court. Now on the backhand of Zverev into the forehand of Novak. Novak goes for the drop shot. It's not going to land, though, so it's 30-15. Yeah, one battery died, but the other one has a few hours of juice in it. So, well, unless we get the 6-hour slog fest that Ghosty, I think, feared, we should just about be okay for the rest of this match. Good serve there from Novak. Slightly deceiving Zverev, who was slightly wrong-footed, puts his backhand return into the net. 40-15, 2 game points for Djokovic. Remember, he saved 4 break points in the previous game. Meanwhile, Zverev saved 3 in his previous service game. What time do you start work, Jake?
Forehand return is going to be long. And so 3 games to 2. And we will take a short break.
Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks, including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered, whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon, or Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
All things tennis indeed. As Zverev returns to the court, as does Novak Djokovic. The German 2-3 down. 7 p.m. to 7. Okay, so you're hoping it's finished by 7 p.m. Well, I think both Djokovic and Zverev will be hopeful of that too. But also Sinner and Ben Shelton, I'm sure, will be pretty keen for it to be done by then too. Love 15. First serve in there from Zverev. Should win the point here. But we remember one of those points in the previous Djokovic, the Djokovic service game, not the previous one, but the one before, when he had a short ball very similar to this that he should have put away, and he just shanked it. Zverev as well wearing cycling shorts, so I wonder if he's just feeling his hamstring slightly, but Djokovic's hamstring just seems to get more and more attention to it in terms of the strapping. Zverev comes into the net, should put that volley away, and does. 30-15. I'm guessing, Jake, you're not a beer drinker through a straw kind of guy. Goes down the tee with an ace there, and it's 40-15. His 4th ace of the day. Djokovic already has 2 as well. And is that another ace? It is, yes. Great serve down the tee there from Zverev. And we are at 3 games all. What time is the first challenger match? So obviously you've got Wedash, I guess, that gets underway around about 11 o'clock. Goes down the tee there, Novak. Backhand block return there from Zverev on the defensive, but he's not able to get that forehand over the net. And yeah, very much a forced error, I would suggest. And Djokovic wins the first point of the game, 15-love. It depends on which country you're in, but I'm just responding to this one here. Depends on which country you're in, who's tuning in on Twitch. Forehand return there from Zverev is not really good enough, I would suggest, because that was a fairly easy return to make and didn't get anywhere near the depth I would have expected off that one. Backhand there from Zverev cross court. Nice forehand cross court. Djokovic tries to pick up the pace on that one, but actually goes too big and too wide, and it is 15-all. So in New Zealand, I don't know, but if you Google watch Djokovic Zverev Australian Open semi-final live, then maybe you might get some luck. New Zealand, maybe put your country in as well. I know mainland Europe, we've got Eurosport and Discovery Plus as the options. 30-15 after an unreturned serve there. Goes down the tee here, and Zverev looking bemused, I think, at his own inability to return that serve. And it is 40-15 and 2 game points. Forehand return there from, and Djokovic is going to come into the net. And Zverev, is he going to make that forehand cross court? Yes, he is. 40-30. What time is the rugby, though, Jake? Because I'm just thinking the women's final will be 8:30 your time, maybe? Djokovic down the tee. Comes into the net. Backhand pass, though, so we're at deuce. Djokovic's fourth service game, and now we're at the second of those that have been pushed to deuce. The previous one, he had to save, or the previous time he went to deuce, I should say, in his second service game, he had to save 4 break points. He was then very quick to get 3 break points of his own on the Zverev serve that all came and went from love 40. I'd love to see the shot clock. We're not getting to see it. Good serve there from Novak. Zverev is going to chase this down, is he? Yes, but he's not going to get it back over the net. So advantage Novak Djokovic. Game point for the serve. Good serve down the tee, and it is going to be 4-3. I really am looking forward to seeing that shot clock at some point today. So, 7 holes so far. Mr. Grand Slam man yourself there in the umpire chair. Have we often seen him at any other tournaments? Both players looking a little pensively into the distance. I think you'd probably be slightly happier if you were Djokovic. Saving those 4 break points in one game. Not saying that the level from either player has been significantly ahead of the other one, as we see images of Jannik Sinner backstage on the exercise bike. Okay, so Zverev to serve here at 3-4. First serve into the net. Let's have a quick look at some of the stats from this match so far. Just on the tee, backhand return, forehand from Novak. It's going to just go long, so 15 love. Women's doubles semi-final happening right now with Shea and Ostapenko. Actually, it's Dabrowski and Routliffe, though, that have the first set. They are serving for that first set, albeit that they are love 15 down. Yes, so regarding the stats so far, let's have a quick look. Are we going to get some stats? Yes, we are. Zverev 5 and 2 in terms of aces. Zverev yet to hit a double fault, which I think if this had been 3 years ago, would have expected 1 or 2 from the German by now, but that is something that he seems to have cleared up from his game. First serve in there, Novak Djokovic, 52%. I think he'd be keen to get a bit more than 52% in, but given that he's still on serve here and he's been getting away with that, I think he'll be okay with that. I think Zverev, 69% first serve points won, could be a little bit disappointed with that situation. He'll be even more disappointed when he realizes he's down. In fact, I'm sure he does realize, but he'll be even more disappointed with the fact he's 15-30 down here on his serve. Do I think Shelton can beat Sinner? Yes, I do. Do I think he will beat him? No, I don't. I've gone for Sinner in 4 sets. The first serve in particular is something that goes to, you're highlighting the serve, and I think it's a fairly obvious thing to do with Ben's game. If he can get a high percentage of those first serves in, then we might see something. It is going to be, of course, a different question that is going to be posed of Jannik today in terms of playing a lefty. Those sort of loopy left-handers, left-handed cross quarters that go in towards the backhand of Jannik. What he needs to do, I think, has been highlighted as well. I think I was talking to, Steve Flink about this match, maybe, or was it? No, I think it might have been Bert Atunga. And he's like, the problem with those loopy left-handed cross-court balls that Shelton dishes up is that they often fall short. They cannot afford to fall short against the best player in the world on a hard court right now. So it's not going to happen today, but I would like to see Ben maybe approach the net a bit more often. But I'm thinking probably more at Wimbledon than in Australia. An unreturned serve from Zverev there. So from 15-30 down, he does indeed hold with an ace and an unreturned serve. Djokovic electing to block that from a very, very deep position. But when you've got first serves that are pushing 200 kilometers an hour, then you are probably going to be quite deep for those. Yes, I think Sean probably is clutching at straws there, especially as I think Sinner deals with the slice pretty well. It's not like Daniel Medvedev, who used to struggle with that. I think Medvedev got better over the years, by the way. But that used to be a tactic against Daniel. Then another tactic that became really on vogue against Daniel was serve and volley. Go the serve out wide and then just come in and volley it. And now the tactic against Daniel is just play well. Djokovic, talking of serve and volleys, comes in and puts that backhand volley long. Yeah, the serve and volley today, I think on the 3 occasions I recall Djokovic electing for it, I think on 3 occasions he's lost the point. Love 15. Djokovic gets an ace. Third one. Nope, it's going to, yep, gets an ace. Third one of the match. Yeah, Zverev's fastest serve of the day, 216 kilometers an hour compared to the 198 of Novak. Probably those extra couple of centimeters that Zverev has over the serve, maybe helping him there. First serve goes long here, though, from Djokovic. Again, the first serve percentage from him today is lacking somewhat. 53%. It's not the worst first serve percentage in the world, but 60 plus is something I think would be desired. Forehand return into the forehand of Novak. Zverev on the defense. Good depth there, though. And it seemed to bounce funny off the court there. And we've got 15-30 on the Djokovic serve at a very, very important moment in this first set. Goes down the tee, but it's going to go long. So it's another first serve missed. 51% now, that first serve percentage. 19 from 37. Djokovic served first in this set and, of course, has played 3 points in this game on his serve. But it is noticeable just how many points he's had to play on serve compared to Zverev so far. Zverev goes long with the backhand there. Yeah, 37 points on the Novak serve and 24 on the Zverev serve. We've got at least 2 more points to add to that number of service points that Novak has had to deal with. First serve into the net. Had 1 double fault in the match so far, and that came from Zverev. No double fault here. Backhand return from Alexander. Again, on the backhand. I think the backhand to backhand exchanges, Zverev will be okay with that. And Novak changes direction, perhaps as a result, gets a short ball, but doesn't really take advantage of that. We are still at neutral in this rally as they go backhand to backhand. Now there's a forehand for Novak to attack, but he doesn't attack it. Net cord there in the favor of Novak. And Novak is going to pull the trigger there, and it's going to go wide. So we're going to get another break point for Alexander Zverev. He had 4 in one game, wasn't able to take advantage of any of those 4. Some neutral rally shots that went into the net off both sides. And probably about 3 of those 4 break points, really, that he should have done better with. Well, he's going to get a 5th one of the first set here. And Novak, as a result of that missed first serve on the previous point, is now down to 50% first serves in. And it's going to be another second serve. So we're now at less than 50% for Novak on first serve. Backhand return here cross court. Backhand from Novak. Backhand from Zverev. Forehand to the forehand now. That's too short, though, there from Zverev. He's going to be down in the rally as a result. But now they're on the backhand again. Good depth there from Zverev. Good depth again. So now it's on the forehand. Oh, he just sort of stood still there for a second as he waited to see what happened with his forehand. That forehand is too short. Zverev is on the defensive. And he's going to hit that backhand long. And so we're back to deuce. Yeah. Zverev showing signs of frustration there as he squanders his 5th break point. Djokovic misses the first serve. I think he'll be aware of this. It looks like he's annoyed at himself for missing that first serve, and it missed by some margin as well. Second serve, though, of course, lands in on the forehand of Novak. Zverev on the run. Djokovic slicing there. Djokovic slicing again. Zverev comes into the net, but that's a lovely defensive shot there from, or response, I should say, from Djokovic down the line. And it's going to be a game point now for the 10-time Australian Open winner. First serve is in this time, though, from Novak. Now they're in a backhand-to-backhand exchange. And, just skids off a good amount of pace there from Zverev. Djokovic is slightly disappointed and probably just falls into the error zone rather than forced error. Tournament rally average length, 3.46. That's, I guess, across everyone who's played, but this match is 4.41. Probably an indication of the slight lack of aggression on both sides of the net. And we are at deuce. I think you can also testify to Novak's defensive qualities too. Novak gets a first serve in again, so that's 2 in a row from him, which is pretty good by his standards in this match thus far. And now he'll be back at above 50% on that first serve. Forehand to forehand right now. Deuce, remember, are we going to get another break point? Probably not, because that's a wonderful winner there down the line from Novak Djokovic, bringing up game point for a 5-4 lead, much to the Serbians in the crowd delight. We are over 8 minutes, though, for this game. And we are about 2 weeks for the match as a whole. And it's a first serve ace. 3 first serves in a row for Novak there, boosting those first serve statistics. And he leads 5-4. So when Zverev returns, 57 minutes for 9 games. Oh, please. And it's not electrifying, not yet anyway. Maybe the heat, though, to be fair to both players, is playing a factor in terms of the slow pace that we're having. Anyway, 4-5. When Zverev returns, he's going to serve to stay in the first set. I just said that I hope we're not here in 2 weeks' time still talking about this match. And I don't mean because of the legendary nature of it. Yep, indeed. Not everyone loves him, but yeah. At this point, a Ben Shelton Australian Open win is about the only amazing narrative that we could get. By the way, if this match wasn't bad enough in terms of excitement, it's even worse when it starts at 4:30 in the morning. Goes long on the first serve there, does Zverev. Yes, indeed he does, Jake. He has 7 aces, Novak 4. Second serve return is a good second serve from Zverev. And it's love. Sorry, it's 15 love as Novak puts the return long. I think I'm going to have to move the couch at some point. And another return on the backhand side from Djokovic goes long, and we're at 30 love. I could just put like a doll here with a picture of my face on it and just sort of say some things on repeat. Things like, can we look at the shot clock, please? In fact, just have that constantly, no? Can we see the shot clock, please? And then just come back, go and have another couple of hours sleep and come back. Oh, it's Zverev. Why aren't you going down the line there? Djokovic's drop shot is not going to make it. You could tell from his reaction from the moment he hit it that it wasn't going to make it over the net. And it's 40 love. The women's semi-final was fantastic. Yes, the resilience that she showed to having gone down, of course, a break at the end there, and as Iga was serving out and had a match point on her serve. I mean, you really feared the worst. And also, of course, she was down in the tiebreak as well. Oh, that must have just clipped the line. So Zverev there with an unreturned serve, and it's a game to love, and it's 5 games all. Let's have a quick look on Twitter to see if people are going nuts about it. Siniakova and Townsend, of course, are through to the women's doubles final. Djokovic on the defensive in this rally at the moment. And that's a slice, though, from Novak going to go into the net. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of slicing here from Novak today. Forehand return there from Zverev, backhand from Zverev into the forehand of Novak. We're 15 all in this game. I feel like I wasn't looking at the screen for about 2 hours, and I came back and it was just 2 points had gone. And that backhand from Zverev is horrible. And it's 30-15 to Novak Djokovic. Yeah, I think they have a good. If 2 guys is a bromance, with 2 girls, is it a sistermance? I don't know. We actually have, I think, 3 or 4 people on board for that. We've got 3 at least. Eddie, I know. Fergus. And who's the third one? Eddie, Fergus. Jack is going to probably put in an appearance for an hour or so. And I will confirm the third one. I do apologize to whoever that is. Oh, James, of course. Yes, James put his hat in the ring for that one some time ago. Djokovic holds, by the way, 6-5. So again, Zverev is on that tightrope of returning to the court to serve to stay in the first set. He dealt with it pretty comfortably in the previous game. Yeah, but she still threw in some double faults at inappropriate moments, or inopportune moments, I should say. Just trying to remember, was there one when she was serving it out? I think there was. And I think there was one in the tiebreak when she had a very small advantage, maybe, quite early on in that tiebreak. And they looked quite nervy, tight double faults, if you like. Do hit that like button, by the way. I don't know how many likes we are on now. Hopefully pushing 20 plus. Forehand return, sorry, backhand return here for Novak. But he's into the rally, which is good news for him, bearing in mind he had to face down a first serve from Zverev. Just picking up the pace there slightly, Novak, by slight change of direction. Another slice there from Novak. Oh, he's gone wide, though, there with the backhand. 15 love. Hmm. $17 likes. Thank you, Ghosty. Let's get it to 20. Come on. Come on, people. If you're watching right now and you haven't hit that like button, Why not? Okay, Zverev into the net on the first serve. Second serve lands in. We're into the rally. It's quite a big forehand from Zverev off a short ball of Novak. There's another short ball, and this time it's going to be a backhand for Zverev to look at. And he's gone down the line with that backhand, and it has landed in. 30 love. Just clipped the line. Zverev winning 71% of his second serves. Pretty good. Djokovic had yet to hit a return winner. Might surprise some. That's good from Zverev. Should win the point from here. Oh, got away with that one, though, because he put himself in a very commanding position in the rally and then just had the ball to put away. But he found Novak's racket somehow with that attempted pass. Novak looks like he's struggling physically. But then when doesn't he look like he's struggling physically? We've not had a break of serve yet in this match, but we have had 8 break points. 5 for Alexander Zverev and 3 for Djokovic, all come and gone for both players. Okay, we're into the rally here. And Djokovic is not going to chase that one down. And it's going to go to a first set tiebreak. 53 hours since we began this match. Everyone else in Australia's gone home, but we are now finally at the tiebreak. In terms of total points won, Zverev has a slight advantage there, 42 to 38. "70 minutes, yes, Ghosty." But this was not like a 70-minute set that was just like incredibly insane and exciting and pulsating. Like, for example, the Djokovic-Nadal semi-final at the French Open in 2021 was. Today was a stodgy, stodgy, stodgy affair. Djokovic winning the first point, 1-0. And Zverev comes into the net, should put that volley away, and does on the backhand side. Not necessarily known for his volleys, but that was a very winnable volley, let's say. Indeed, Swana will never get that 70 minutes back. I could have just shared the score on the screen and slept for another 70 minutes. Zverev, what are you doing there? You're going to get a smash here and you put it away. Yeah, I actually had those vibes too, Sean. That was very much a slog, wasn't it? It was very damp outside. The rain was coming down. The roof was closed. And neither player could hit through the other. Well, Ghosty, in terms of your, inability to sleep, maybe this is helping. Okay, Djokovic serve. Backhand return from Zverev. I think He was a little bit surprised that that serve went into the backhand. He's got to pick this backhand up. Novak's going big across court. And Zverev is not going to make that one, so it's 2-all. So 2-all, Djokovic serving. Forehand return from Zverev is going to go long and wide. So 3-2 Djokovic. I think Zverev gets this first set. And of course, that will mean we're going at least 4. Then, yeah. Yes, Alcaraz, Tommy Paul would have been a more fun, I think, encounter. Good first serve there, though, from Zverev, and he should win the point from here. He's going to have a smash, which he puts away with ease. 3-all at the change of ends. All 6 points so far have been held by the server. Ghosty, at least, will be pleased with the packed crowds. Second serve, 3-all. And it's going to be a toss, ball toss, and he's not going to hit it, so he's going to have another go at it. Oh, a second serve ace. No lacking in bravery there. So over to you. It was very close. Three, 4. Is there nothing more enjoyable for you, Nerlan, than continuing to watch Novak Djokovic? For all, 8 points so far, all of which have gone the way of the server. As Djokovic brings up his 5th ace of the match, Zverev on 8 in that category. Seeing a Liverpool title collapse, Nerland, that would probably please me more. Not that I think it's going to happen. Okay, second serve here for Zverev to look at. Forehand return, drop shot from Djokovic. It's going to try and lob Zverev, and it's going to work. It's an excellent lob from the Andy Murray book of lobs, that one. Zverev did his absolute best to try and get his racket on it. It's a good drop shot. Put himself in a great position. I thought he was just going to go for the pass there, but the lob there was exquisite. Four, 5. Serve to serve. Goes down the tee. And it's going to go long, 5-all. Nurlan, give us some of your tennis takes. Second serve here. Remember, we've only had one double fault, I think, in the match so far, and it came off the racket of Zverev. The last second serve he had has landed in. A net cord there in the favor of Novak. Novak defends that one. He'll defend this one too. Is this going to be the first break of serve point in the game, in this tie break? It might be. No, it's not. Zverev puts away that short ball, 6-5. And in fact, now Zverev has a set point. That's 11 points that have all gone the way of the server. Okay, Djokovic will serve here, 5-6. Be keen to get a first serve in. Gets it. We're into the rally, though. Backhand to backhand right now. Djokovic goes big on that backhand. Comes in to put the volley away, but puts it into the net. And finally, we have a break of serve in this tie break, and it's decisive. And it's Alexander Zverev who takes the first set after 1 hour. What's going on? What's happening? Djokovic is retiring. Djokovic is retiring. Djokovic is retiring. Wow, in the most dramatic moment in that set. And Alexander Zverev is into his first Australian Open final. Wow. Djokovic said that if he'd lost the second set, he was going to retire. There's quite a few boos in the crowd, I think. Sticking his thumbs up to those that are booing him. Wow. I mean, there was no obvious issue with the movement. By the way, some people might not be devastated to see that end that way. Wow. Wow. I don't know what to say. Just wow. I just think that he'd run out of gas and he had to win that first set. But I didn't expect the retirement. It'd be interesting to hear what Alexander Zverev has to say. Jim Courier here going to interview him on court.
This is not the way this match was supposed to end. I just want to get your thoughts on Novak before we start talking a little bit about you. Well, the very first thing I want to say is, please, guys, don't boo a player when he goes out and answers it. Yes. I know that everybody everybody paid for tickets and everybody wants to see hopefully a great 5-set match and everything, but you got to understand, Novak Djokovic is somebody that has given this sport for the past 20 years absolutely everything of his life.
Richtig so, was sagt. Er hat ja alles gegeben. In seiner Karriere, die ganze Karriere.
He has won this tournament with an abdominal tear. He has won this tournament with a hamstring tear. If he cannot continue a tennis match, it really means that he cannot continue a tennis match. So please be respectful and really show some love for Novak as well.
Das ist sehr groß. Er hat das Ding auch gewonnen. Schon mit Verletzungen.
Within the match, did you have an idea that he was struggling to the point that he might not finish it?
Hast du das irgendwie erwartet?
No, I actually thought it was a quite a high level first set. Of course, you know, there's some difficulties, and the longer you continue playing, then maybe the worse it gets, and the tiebreaker is maybe not moving.
Kann schon sein, dass er ein bisschen mehr spielt, Rückenschmerzen.
But I thought we had extremely long rallies, extremely difficult physical also rallies. In the tiebreak, I did see him struggle maybe a bit more. But still, look, of course, I'm happy on one side to be in the final of Australian Open, in the final of Grand Slam.
I hope you can hear this all right.
On the other hand, and I'm being 100% honest, there's no guy on the tour that I respect more than Novak. He's been one of my closest friends on tour. Whenever I struggled, I could always text him, I could always call him, I could always ask him for advice. I was speaking to him for hours last year in Shanghai when I was really struggling mentally a little bit after the US Open defeat in the quarterfinals, and he's always somebody that helped a lot. And you know, I wanted it to be a top 5-set match as well. But you know, it is how it is. He's won this tournament 10 times, and again, I have nothing but respect for him.
Das ist gut. Das ist wirklich
so. Let's turn our attention to you. So when you approach a match like this, when you know you might have an opponent who might have a problem, what's your mindset coming after? Does it change the way you approach the match, or do you come out, I'm going to play my way no matter what? Well, not against Novak, to be honest. I played him here in 2021 when he had an abdominal tear, and he served 28 aces against me. So I was like, well, I have to play 100%. You know, I played probably one of my best sets of the tournament. Now, the first set, and I won 7-5 in a tiebreak while he was injured. So, but you won. Yeah, well. I don't know, maybe I'm not that good, maybe Novak is too good for the sport, I don't know what to say. You're number 2 in the world, they don't give that to you, you have earned it, and it's been really fascinating and fun. So many players have brought in outside coaches, super coaches, and you've tried a few, for the last few years it's been all about family. Your dad, your brother, and we've watched the changes that you've made to your game, especially your serve has become something that I didn't think was possible. You make over 70% first serves in play, you average over 200K. I'm telling you, it happens every day. I'm not going to jinx you, I promise. I want to understand the change, how you made the changes, because we noticed your ball toss in the last couple of years has gotten much lower. It doesn't go up as high. How did that change come about? Because he absolutely working amazingly well. So we're talking about technique now? Technique change, yes. Well, technique, the number one thing that I changed, it was actually with my brother more than anyone else, because my brother was never a massive server, so he's never a very big server, but he was extremely well in his spots, and he was with the topspin and all that. And actually what was happening is I was tossing my ball so high up that I was waiting in that position for so long, and I was losing momentum, so I couldn't accelerate anymore after the ball was ready. So the number one thing that we changed over the past, I think, 4 or 5 years is lowering the toss, so it's a fluid motion. So I actually hit the tennis ball at the highest spot that I can and not waiting for it to go down, and then I kind of have to wait for the ball, and my serve speed on second serve especially went up quite a bit over the last few years. And if I'm going to serve on the 70% in the final, I'm going to blame you for that. It won't happen. You were 69% in your last match. Terrible. That was awful, right? That was terrible. That was a terrible serving. They only served 4 aces as well. So,
Vier Asse zu Nationalsieg
you're in a final here for the first time in Australia, for the third time in your career in majors. That's awesome.
zum dritten Mal bei einem Slam-Turnier jetzt im Finale. Das ist natürlich überragend.
Ben Shelton, the American, or Yannick Sinner, the Italian. So let's just preview that match and tell me what you're expecting in their matchups. I know, Sasha, you played both of them.
Just seeing Ben Shelton backstage.
What's going to happen? Ben is going to serve 240 kilometers an hour, and Yannick is going to return that serve like it's coming out to butterflies. So that's what's going to happen. But no, I mean, they're both great players. Everybody who's in the same final against them absolutely deserves to be there. There's no easy draws. So yeah, I have tremendous respect for both of those guys, and I think it's going to be an entertaining match. Hopefully, some of you guys will take this for tonight because it's going to be fun.
And as it is jetzt für auf jeden Fall
What have you
gehen.
taken from your experiences in the first two that can help you in this
Was
final?
kann dir helfen von den
It would
ersten
be
beiden
nice to win one more set than the first two that I
Das ist
played.
ja ein Einsatz mehr gewinnen.
But yeah, I mean, look, Grand Slam finals are always difficult. The two best players in the world are playing on that court. You know, I lost twice in a fifth set, once in a fifth set tiebreaker at the US Open. So I've had my tough losses. I feel like maybe it's time for me to have some luck in the Grand Slam
So, ich kann dir noch ein bisschen Glück haben im Finale. Wirklich starkes Interview. Und ja, also ich gehe jetzt rüber, wir wollen jetzt gleich mal weitermachen und da erwarten wir auch den.
Wow. So there we go. Alexander Zverev into his first Australian Open final, signs the camera and heads off court. A 1 hour and 20-minute set. And yeah, ending the match because Djokovic puts his volley into the net. I wonder if he'd won that set. I'm presuming he wouldn't have retired. I'm presuming he wouldn't have retired and therefore at least tried to see if he could hang in there. This is only Novak Djokovic's second loss via retirement at the Australian Open after conceding to Andy Roddick in the 2009 quarterfinal. Yeah. Whether it was sickness, we saw him taking tablets at one point midway through that set. Yeah, such a bummer, says Brad Gilmer on Twitter. So Zverev is into the final and will play the winner of Yannick Sinner and Ben Shelton. There's not much more to say until we get some news exactly on what caused that retirement. But for the second year in a row, Novak Djokovic falls at the semi-final stage. Thank you, Jane, as well. Yes, the graveyard 4:30 a.m. shift was mine, but exciting times to follow for the other guys. That'll be bringing you Yannick Sinner against Ben Shelton. That'll be up shortly. In the meantime, do make sure you hit that like button. Do subscribe to the channel if you're new. I might just stay live for a couple more minutes as we just trawl social media to see if we get any more words and explanation on what happened to Novak, or even just some more takes on what happened. Yeah, so whether it was yeah, remember those break points that Djokovic had and those lofted balls that he was giving Zverev to smash, which ultimately got it done on the third one. But he was defending well. But the slice from Novak, was that a wise tactic? I don't know. I don't know. It's certainly going to lengthen the rallies, and I don't think Novak wants to do that. But does Novak have that game to go aggressive and go big? Yeah, perhaps the leg as well is an issue. Practice was hampered too by that leg injury. And yeah, Alexander Zverev into his, I think it's his third Grand Slam final. He obviously had the US Open final of 2020, which he lost in 5 sets to Dominic Thiem, and had the French Open final of 2024, which he also lost in 5 sets, that time to Carlos Alcaraz. And yes, some pretty disappointed faces there in the crowd as Djokovic calls it a day at 1 hour and 21 minutes. Zverev not quite sure how to respond. Andy Murray exits his seat, and I'm sure is quick and keen to speak to his charge. Djokovic then waved to the crowd, at which point he started to get some boos, turned around, stuck his thumbs up, and nodded his head. Yeah. So yeah, one more glance. So we have a little glance more at social media to see if there's anything else to add before we bring this stream to an end. Some praise here from Jose Morgado for the on-court interview for Jim Courier. I know some people this week, Ben Shelton, I think, highlighted some of the on-court interviews that have occurred, but I don't think they've been aimed at Jim Courier, who's probably one of the best in the business. I think we're seeing live pictures backstage of Sinner practicing some backhands. Yeah, was that a tactic that was going to win the match today? Don't know. It certainly didn't win the match anyway, but yeah. Yeah, this is a fair point. Maybe adrenaline covering up things there. Respect to Zverev, says Ramage. Ramage, if you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button just below. We will be bringing this to a close very, very shortly before we come back for the Shelton Sinner match in a little while. Jose Morgado saying very poor from the crowd. I think most people are probably in agreement with that. Medically retired, says ESPN. Yeah, it might. I think it might well be the leg more than the physical side of things. Seeing Ben Shelton warming up as well in the player gym. Well, a shocking and surprising end to this match that seemed to be on a knife edge for so long, but it does end in retirement and education. Thank you for joining us. Please do hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Yeah, surprising end, disappointing end, particularly for those in the crowd who did air their frustration, or some of them aired their frustration towards Novak. But it did come as a surprise. You know, both players looking pretty good for those 12 games in terms of movement. Djokovic, yes, did look a bit out of breath. Yes, he did take some tablets. Yes, he did have a heavily strapped hamstring, but probably until that final point when he puts that volley into the net, and we're kind of surprised. And I did posit that probably winning that first set for Zverev might be enough, because if the match was going to be won probably by Novak, he might well have been keen to do it in straight sets. Manasvi, I hope I'm saying your name right. Hopefully Novak recovers fast. But as Ghosty says, is that the last time we will see Novak Djokovic at the Australian Open? Maybe. Well, anyway, for those of you tuning in, some of you maybe for the first time, welcome. Where have you been for the last 2.5 years? Well, we've been here, but we'll also be back again in a very short period of time to bring you the second men's semi-final between Ben Shelton and Yannick Sinner. In the meantime, thanks for joining, and you know the drill.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
you.